How do you manage to use a death note without getting caught by the police? You just got your hands on a real, tried and true death note, like from the anime, and your very own Shinigami just explained to you that it'll wipe anyone off the face of the earth if you write down their name and cause of death in the book while picturing their face in your mind. Of course, this is great news. For your entire life, you felt the urge from deep within, your higher calling, to get rid of the scum that have been sucking the life out of society, parasites bleeding the rest of us dry with their disgusting, sinful behavior. People who drive slow in the left lane of the highway. You know what you have to do to fix the world. Systematically remove each and every one of these cretins from the mortal plane with a stroke of your pen. But hold on a minute. You've seen Death Note, the whole thing, even the less interesting second half after L dies. Light gets caught in the end, and that's no good. You cannot let that happen to you. You need to live a long, free life to keep the streets clear, the eternal arbiter of the left lane. That means no making a deal for Shinigami eyes, no matter how much they might help you. So, you're gonna have to be careful about this. What's the first step? Well, you could try seeking out your victims one by one, driving around the highway until you find somebody sinfully setting their cruise control to 65 and a 70. But then you would need to follow them around to figure out who they are to actually write their name down. Not only is this a super slow process, but it's incredibly suspicious. If the slow driver doesn't notice you themselves, eventually someone is going to spot your car on traffic cams in all these cities where people keep dropping like flies. It's only a matter of time. Plus, picking off your prey one at a time won't actually change the world. If you want to put the fear of God into these drivers across the planet, you need to wipe out a whole bunch of these slow sinners at once. That will send a message to deter potential slow drivers of the future. So let's refine our strategy. You'll need a list of drivers to take out all at once, and it needs to be publicly available knowledge that they're all slow drivers. Otherwise, no one will actually understand the true beauty of your holy mission. But unlike Light Yagami, your dad isn't a police captain, and you can't access the database of all the criminal slow drivers. The most effective way will be to use the internet, scanning through local news articles for stories of arrests. Just 10 minutes of this will get you a nice healthy list. And if you use a VPN to change your location a bunch, you can grab the names of scum from all over until you've compiled a list at least 500 long of these people who clearly don't deserve to keep on living. But uh-oh, there's another problem. The NSA knows all of your search history. When you unleash your wave of death across the dregs of the left lane, it won't take long for them to find the guy who happened to click on 100 different articles about the various victims all in the same Tuesday afternoon. Even the mythical power of the incognito tab won't be able to protect you here. I'm sorry, buddy. You're gonna have to do your research on a device other than your phone or personal computer. Luckily, there are a ton of places to do this. The best would be a publicly accessible building with minimal security and computers available for free use, a public library. Of course, the NSA and even the library staff will still be able to trace your search activity, but they'll only be able to tie it to that PC. As long as you conceal your identity, they'll never know it was you. So, just drive to your local library and boot up Google, right? Wrong. Even assuming the library doesn't have cameras, which some do, if this is the city where you live, someone might recognize you. You'll want to pick a public library in a small town, at least an entire state away. But before you hop in your car, consider, your phone has a GPS that can be tracked. Some super sleuth in the government might notice that your phone mysteriously drove 4 hours to a random library for no reason, the same day a computer in that library was used to search up the names of all the people who were mysteriously killed by Speed Demon. Oh, by the way, that's the name people will start calling you once you enact your plan. Anyway, you won't be able to bring your phone with you on this trip, and while you're downgrading your tech, ditch any car made after 2005 as well. Anything built with an internet connection or internal GPS can be used to track you just like your phone. You'll need to rely on old-fashioned paper maps to get you where you're going. And be sure to buy those maps with cash. If you use a credit card or an ATM, that's traceable too. But don't worry, we're almost done. These slow drivers will soon face the divine punishment that they deserve. You've hopped in your 1997 Toyota Tacoma, a fistful of cash to buy a paper map once you cross the state border, and the flame of righteous judgment alight in your heart. And once you make it, you stride inside and plug in your first search, and fear snuffs out that flame in your chest. What if someone here remembers your face and is able to describe you to the police, or pick you out of a lineup? What if they remember your license plate number? Or worst of all, what if a librarian recognizes your strange search activity and questions you mid-search? Surely they'd remember your face then, right? Okay, this is too risky. You need to add a few more countermeasures. First of all, you won't do all your research at once. Before you leave your house, compile a list of random, unrelated questions to search Google for at the library. Who had the longest nose in history? What's the most dangerous Ferris wheel in the world? And of course, inconspicuously, has anyone ever been arrested for driving too slow? Good, that will obfuscate your search considerably. Now, you'll be taking multiple trips spaced out over weeks or even months to public libraries in small towns, each one in a different state, at least several hours apart from one another. At each library, you'll search for victims in a different part of the world, slowly adding them to your list, all for the day the speed demon finally puts the pedal to the metal. Oh, by the way, that's what your fans will call it whenever you kill a slow driver. Anyway, this is great. It's highly unlikely anyone will be suspicious of you this way. Even if the NSA sees all of your searches, they'll never be able to connect them all to you. The only thing to worry about is the libraries themselves. The people inside might still recognize you, or you might get caught on their cameras, and there's a small chance someone could connect you to the crime because you showed up on the footage of multiple security cams with no alibi. If we want to be completely safe, you'll need to use disguises, so that every time you go to a different library, you look like a totally new person. We'll need a set of full-body disguises that completely conceal all identifiable features: facial details, skin and hair color, gender, body type and height. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't like this next part. But you need to do it. You need to become a furry. With the full body concealment of a fursuit, your plan is almost completely foolproof. No one would ever expect the speed demon himself to be using a computer at the Ashland Community Library dressed up as a green and purple cartoon wolf. It's practically perfect. You just need to make sure you have several different animal costumes, so you can't be linked from footage between the different libraries. And we need to cover a few last little logistical details. Because you'll be traveling on long trips out of state every weekend, your friends and family may start to get suspicious, and we can't have that. Tell them that you've taken up camping, an activity that explains why you're spending a day away from home alone, away from all technology. Of course, to sell the illusion, you'll actually need to buy camping gear and pitch a tent in the woods outside these small towns every time you go. After all, you can't risk getting spotted at a motel. Plus, cool bonus, your big camping backpack is the perfect way to transport your multiple fursuits without ever being seen carrying them by people from your hometown who know you. But once you get to the location, be sure to keep the suit on the entire time, including while camping. Last thing you need is a fellow camper spotting you and tying your face to this small town. But, this one is less about getting caught and more about personal safety. Make sure to buy some animal-grade mace. It would be awfully unfortunate if a pack of wolves or a wandering bear spotted you out in the woods, covered in fur, and mistook you for a potential mate. Ugh. But that's a risk worth taking, because you have now finally done it. You've covered every single possible contingency. There is no way anyone anywhere could possibly connect you back to the speed demon and his victims, which means it's time to finally execute the plan. After all of this prep, the world can be cleansed at last. Just picture it, driving across state lines, not a single piece of technology to track you. Your face and body is fully concealed by your furry costume. You smirk and reach over to your glove box to pull out the map that will lead you to your first public library. But as you fumble around, the oversized costume gloves, they make it kind of hard to grab the paper map, and you accidentally knock out the bear mace. It tumbles to the floor, spraying the stinging gas into the air. Ugh, you cough and choke, your eyes watering up as your 97 Tacoma becomes a hot box of poison. You couldn't see the road clearly with the furry mask on to begin with, but now your stinging eyes are full of tears. You swerve to avoid hitting the cars in front of you and slam your foot onto the brake pedal to prevent a crash. Eventually, you manage to roll down the windows and pull the mask off your face, the mace slowly leaking out of your eyes as your vision returns, and you let out a sigh of relief. Just as you hear a car honk from behind you. Checking your rearview mirror, your heart sinks into your stomach. You've pulled to a stop here, blocking traffic in the middle of the road, in the left lane. Your face is flush, your skin grows clammy. You realize that the speed demon was always destined to become that which he seeks to destroy. Fresh tears streaming down your face, you retrieve the Death Note from the glove box and write a single name at the top of the page. Your first and only kill. You write your own name. Stay frosty.